Around 1200 before Common Era, the Hittite Empire, Mycenaean palaces, and the great cities of the Eastern Mediterranean were faced with a sudden transformation. The mysterious sea peoples appeared from the horizon. The walls of Troy bore the marks of destruction, and Hittite tablets preserved hidden records of the era's darkest events. Who were these people? Why did great civilizations collapse at the same time? The answers still lie beneath the earth. If you want to explore forgotten periods of history and unsolved mysteries of the past, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. If you're ready, let's begin. Around 1200 before Common Era, there was once a vast interconnected system of kingdoms across the Mediterranean world. While the Hittite Empire maintained its strong fortresses in Anatolia, Mycenaean palaces rose in the Aegean, and the pharaohs of Egypt built monumental structures along the Nile. Trade and diplomatic networks connected these regions. Ships traveled from Cyprus to Ugarit and all the way to the Straits, carrying copper, tin, grain, and luxury goods along these trade routes. The kingdoms were interconnected. A disturbance in one region could affect the others. But then everything changed rapidly. Cities did not simply fade away. They burned, collapsed, and were abandoned. Palaces were left empty, archives left incomplete. Kings sent desperate requests for help, but many went unanswered. Within a short time, the Hittite Empire, Mycenaean centers, and many major cities of the Eastern Mediterranean were thrown into crisis. Historians call this period the Late Bronze Age collapse. But what caused it? Drought, earthquakes, internal conflict, or large-scale migrations? The exact answer remains unknown, and one of the most debated phenomena of this period emerges. The Sea Peoples. Their exact identity remains uncertain, but they appeared during this major transformation in the Late Bronze Age. Were they merely raiding warriors? Or part of a larger migration movement searching for new lands within a collapsing world order? To understand this, we must look to the other side of the Mediterranean, to the scenes carved into the walls of Egypt. On the walls of Medinet Habu temple in Egypt, a remarkable scene from this period still survives. As the soldiers of Ramesses III defend the coast, massive ships appear on the horizon. Horned helmets, distinctive shields, long spears. The ships reach the shore. Battle begins. Egyptian records mention names such as Shardana, Shekelesh, Denyen, Peleset, and Cheker. Researchers associate these groups with different regions of the Aegean and the Mediterranean. What stands out is this: these groups were not only warriors. Depictions include women, children, and ox carts. This suggests not just raiding forces, but a large-scale population movement. The Egyptians referred to them collectively as the Sea Peoples. While earlier movements existed, the most significant confrontation occurred in the 8th year of Ramesses III. Egypt managed to repel these attacks. However, the same outcome did not occur elsewhere. At Hattusa, the Hittite capital, there are clear traces of fire. In Ugarit, a scribe left an unfinished record. Enemy ships have appeared. They are burning us. Mycenaean palaces were set on fire. Trade routes collapsed, and the flow of copper and tin stopped. Famine and disorder spread. The collapse cannot be attributed to a single cause. Drought, climate shifts, earthquakes, political conflicts, and migrations all played a role during the same period. The Sea Peoples appear both as part of this transformation and as a result of it. Some groups settled along the Levant coast. The Late Bronze Age gradually gave way to the Iron Age. But this transition did not occur uniformly everywhere. While some settlements adapted to the new order, others became trapped in the remnants of the Old World. Near the entrance of the Straits, on a strategic hill, stood a powerful city. At Hisarlik Hill today, 9 distinct settlement layers have been identified. One of them, Troy 7A, shows clear evidence of destruction. around 1180 before Common Era. Burn layers, bones with weapon injuries, and hastily abandoned houses suggest a sudden attack. In Hittite texts, this place is referred to as Wilusa and is widely believed to be the same as Troy. Its position near the straits made it a critical center for trade and control. Hittite records mention treaties, tensions, and alliances involving Wilusa. A power called Ahiyawa is also referenced, commonly associated with the Mycenaean world. This period overlaps with both the Sea People's movements and the destruction of Troy, although the exact connections remain uncertain. To understand this era, attention turns to the clay tablets discovered at Hattusa. The clay tablets of Hattusa still preserve information about this period. The Alexandru Treaty describes relations between the Hittite great king and Alexandru, ruler of Wilusa. Wilusa appears as a subject territory of the Hittites. Names such as Apaliunas are also mentioned in the tablets. The Tavagalawa letter contains correspondence between the Hittites and Ahiyawa concerning Western Anatolia and Wilusa. Political relations, alliances, and tensions are clearly documented. Within this complex structure, one figure operating outside the established order emerges: Piyamaradu. Piyamaradu, believed to be of Luwian origin, was active for a long time across Arzawa, the Seha River region, Lesbos, and Miletus. Hittite records state that he launched a sudden attack on Wilusa and replaced the local administration. Conflicts with Hittite forces continued for years. The Tavagalawa letter mentions that Piyamaradu struck Luka, engaged in conflicts in Ialanda, established a base in Milawanda, and maintained connections with Ahiyawa. The Hittites launched campaigns to capture him, but he repeatedly escaped by sea. This chase lasted for approximately 35 years. Night raids, sudden coastal landings, and political turnovers reflect the instability of the era. His fate remains unknown. His traces disappear abruptly. But this was not just the story of a single man. A much larger rupture was unfolding across the Mediterranean world. The movements of the Sea Peoples, the destruction of Troy, and the revolt of Piyamaradu, all were parts of the same major transition. Why did great civilizations collapse simultaneously? Did migrations trigger the collapse, or did collapsing systems accelerate migrations? Research continues. As the wind moves across Hisarlik Hill, burned layers and broken artifacts still lie beneath the soil. With the end of the Bronze Age, the Iron Age emerged. Old powers vanished while new societies formed. Throughout history, major systems transform in response to changing conditions. Climate, resources, warfare, and human movement all shaped this process. What do you think was the main cause of this collapse? In the next episode of Lost in Time, we will explore another period of history. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because history is still full of unanswered questions.